Well, hi guys, welcome back to the jar. Now this jar is 1 year old and this jar has not been opened. Out there it's got a seal on it, airtight seal for an entire year. It's sat in exactly the same place on this window shelf and on this window ledge, and if you have a look down here just at the bottom you can see where it's actually indented into the paint, which is obviously how long it's not been moved for. But the life is actually still going strong in this little tank, and in this little jar just here we've still got our worms, these little sand mason worms there with their little tentacles which pop out their turrets, and there's still about 5 or 6 of these guys in here, but they're not as active as they were in their first season. Now when I say season, it is actually quite interesting to watch this tank, because this jar, it seems to follow the seasons which we have out in the sea, apart from the seasons that this jar seems to follow tend to be just a little bit delayed by a month or two. Now I've still got my snails in here, and you'll see one of my little guys just there in the centre. These guys have been getting steadily bigger and been continuing to grow, and these guys are free of them. I still don't know what species of snail they are, to be fair. I've not really looked. But that one is just grazing in what I call the little algae garden just here. So you can see, just if I come out a little bit, you can't really pick the colour up very well on this camera, but that's a little green algae section down there. And then up on the glass we've got little other sections as well. Now you might see in the background there another one of our snails. If I zoom in on him, her, oh, they are technically hermaphroditic, I think, and you can see obviously him over there. Now also on the bottom of here we've got in the algae bed we've got the little mussel bed as well, with lots of tiny little mussels just creeping in, just poking up through. Now I'm assuming that these guys are alive and active, and what I'm assuming is because they're a bit small I can't really see them too well. But being alive, why I think they're alive and active is because they're always exposed over the top of that algae, and that algae never grows over the top of them. Now subterraneanly in this tank, obviously we've got an old collapsed burrow just there, but you can see we've still got air bubbles coming up, which means that in terms of things breaking down, creating nutrients, and obviously recreating the oxygen, then that is a great sort of advantage, because we've got the plants photosynthesizing, then we've got obviously the carbons which are created as waste products from the little animals in here. And if you just have a look at the back there, there's a bubble which is not in focus but just about to erupt out of the sand. Now when you look at this tank, obviously it's been just sat here and completely left alone. I've not done anything to this tank in a year, so I'm really pleased the fact that it's actually still going. Now in terms of the microorganisms on the glass, I'm hoping we'll be able to pick some up, because they are really fascinating little things. The trouble is that I can only really see them once I zoom in on the footage after I filmed it. So they are still in there, and we still see them from time to time sort of dotting around on the glass. And now I've got two main microorganisms. I've got the little dots that whiz around, and then I've got the little wiggly worm like creatures which sit on there as well. Now in the centre of the picture I've got this little sort of white tablet-y dot. I'm not exactly sure what they are, but they seem to appear, disappear and move around from time to time. And now we've got something very interesting just crept up the glass just there, free swimming by the look of it in the water column itself. Now this tank is full of life still, and that is actually, believe it or not, the very first time I've actually managed to see a little creature free swimming within this tank, so I'm very pleased with it. Now this experiment is going well and it's not finished yet. I'm going to keep going with this tank, and I'll give you guys more updates as and when I get a chance to film them. But for now, I definitely hope you guys have been enjoying following what this sealed jar has been capable of producing. And if you have liked it, make sure you hit the subscribe button, which is going to pop up on the screen. And also check out my playlist for the jar as well, as that will show you what the jar was at various life stages. But thanks for watching, and hope to see you in the next video.